When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0.
Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hi guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If you like this type of content, smash the like button and subscribe for future updates that I post on my community tab frequently. Before we continue on our story, if this part 1, what part this is, gets the same amount of likes or higher, I will immediately work on the second part right away. I know the part 0 of the series got at least around 70 likes. I just checked it. It's around 79 likes currently. That said, let's continue where we last left off in our story. Didn't take Harley Quinn long to make a snarky remark when she sat down next to her friend, right next to her friend Nora. Well, I didn't know the penguin had a kid. I didn't know he had it in him. Trust me, Harley Quinn, I'm not Mr. Penguin's offspring. So you know of me. You have me a bit of disadvantage. Name's Deku. It's a pleasure to meet you, Harley Quinn and Miss Nora. You know of me? I know of your name and who you're married to, but that's pretty much about it, Miss Nora. Let's get back to the main reason why I had you brought here. I know you're blacklisted from the Iceberg Lounge. Luckily for you, Mr. Penguin's not currently here. He's on a vacation out of the country. If the Penguin's out of the country, then who's running his nightclub and his other operations in his territory? I am, Harley. As Deku took off his hood off of his coat, in eye contact with Harley Quinn. Wait, you're just a kid. That may be true. I am just a kid, as you elegantly phrased it. But I'm fully capable of running Mr. Penguin's territory and his nightclub on my own. It's quite tedious, but it's doable. As long as you don't cause trouble, Miss Harley, you're welcome. You're welcome to enjoy yourself. Just keep this a secret between you and me. No reason to inform Penguin of your appearance in his club. Wait, you're not going to inform him? I have no desire to inform Mr. Penguin. If I'm asked, I will tell him then. I won't lie to Mr. Penguin. But by happen, if no one brings it up to him, then I won't mention it. Enjoy yourself in the VIP section of the Iceberg Lounge. You might excuse me, ladies. I have work to attend to. Izuku finished his ice cream sundae and got up from the table and gave the two women a short bow and left. Nora watched Deku leave the area. She couldn't help think the kid reminds her of her husband, Victor Freeze. Cold and polite at the same time. Young Deku over there reminds me of my husband. That makes sense, Nora. I can see it. Sorry about that, Harley. The kid just reminds me of my husband. That you mention it, Nora. If he just had blue skin and no hair, he probably would be a little miniature version of Mr. Freeze. Something about that kid I just can't put my finger on. Oh well, no matter. We're here to have fun, so that's what I plan to do. Deku went back to the office on the second story of the Iceberg Lounge and did his paperwork while keeping an eye on the security monitors that's in his office. Sorry to interrupt you, little boss. As one of the henchmen walked into the office. What is it? Freeze is asking for an audience. I figured he would show up sooner or later, considering his wife is currently in the nightclub. Show him in. When the henchman left, a few seconds later, he came back with Victor Freeze, not in his iconic suit. Victor is wearing a white suit. So the rumors are true. Someone's indeed in charge of Penguin's forces and territory while he's out of the country. If Penguin left you in charge, he must have great faith in your capabilities. I'm Freeze. I go by Deku, Mr. Freeze. I expect you here to ensure the safety of your wife, Nora Freeze. Indeed I am. I might have a friendly relationship with Mr. Penguin. When I heard my darling beloved was heading to the Iceberg Lounge, it was my first priority to have an audience with you to gauge your character, to ensure the safety of my wife while she's hanging out with her friend in the Iceberg Lounge. I expect nothing less. Please, have a seat. Deku got up and activated the very advanced air conditioner that produced cold temperatures enough for Freeze to feel comfortable. Mr. Freeze normally can't leave his suit because of the normal temperatures. He can only withstand the normal temperatures for about a few hours before he has to put in a colder climate. Most appreciated, Deku. It's quite alright. I'm fully aware of how you prefer the colder climates. I'm surprised you can withstand such coldness, such cold temperatures. You don't look bothered one bit. Cold temperatures don't affect me because of my abilities. As Deku created a small ice sculpture in his hands, and over the ice figure of his wife over to Mr. Freeze. A gift. Quite amazing detail. I've seen ice abilities before, but they've never been able to craft stuff to this degree. Remarkable. You even got my beloved's likeness. That's one of the reasons why I started to work for Mr. Penguin. Were you one of his henchmen, perhaps? Well, I just make all the ice sculptures that you saw in the Iceberg Lounge. Every single piece in there has been crafted by my hands, by using my ice. You don't need to worry. I have no intention of harming your wife, or her friend. I have security protecting your wife and her friend. Ion things. I made it perfectly clear. No harm must come to your wife under any circumstances. Punishment will be severe. That's good to hear, but why? Not even Penguin would go this length to guarantee the safety of my Nora. Do this not of fondness, but out of respect for for who you are. One of the big hitters in Gotham City. You have my complete respect. I follow your work, Mr. Freeze. A role model that I've looked up to. Victor saw the toy-like gun on the desk, to Deku's right. Not to be rude, but isn't that a freeze ray? It may look like an average toy you find in a store, but that cold sting coming off it, I would know it from anywhere. This gun reminds me of my very first prototype. You are correct, this is one of my favorite freeze rays that I've created. May I? Of course, I have no doubt it's inferior to your inventions, but it does the job. Victor examined a small toy-like freeze ray. Impressive craftsmanship. Victor took off the cartridge from the bottom of the gun, seeing the bright blue liquid. What type of formula? I can't pronounce that for some reason. What formula are you utilizing for the ammunition? My very own recipe. It was very challenging at first, very temperamental, but after a few tweaks, I got the formula down to good enough to be used in combat situation. Unfortunately, there are still some tweaks that need to be made for the gun itself. Too many shots in rapid succession overheats the chemical or the mechanical devices inside the gun. Especially the part of the regulator that cold temperatures by condensing it so it could be fired off in a shot of ice. That freezing it in to make contact with the formula has a special ingredient that I won't reveal. Trade secret and all. Completely understand. My formula is my own formula is my own invention. As well, I completely understand. I gotta admit, it is quite surprising to have such such dialogue with someone your age. You're highly intelligent for your age. I have no doubt you will advance further than me, given some time. Thank you for the compliment, Mr. Freeze. It means a lot coming from you. Izuku got up and took out a glass and filled it with scotch, handed over to Victor while he got a jukebox out of the small refrigerator next to the desk. Most appreciated. Mr. Penguin has always told me if you ever come over to serve you some scotch. I've been told it's one of your favorite alcohol drinks. Indeed, and it tastes like a good year. I don't drink alcohol too often. My body is unable to get the full effects of alcohol. Considering my body burns away the alcohol before it could affect my body, like you would do as a normal person. The word around the streets is you're having some complications with Black Mask and his henchmen. Nothing too serious. I have no doubt he'll contact me once he gets my little gift that I sent him. It's up to him if he wants to remain living or not. Full thanks that just because Mr. Penguin is out of the country, that his territory is up for grabs. Don't get me wrong. Black Mask would do no good. They'll just leave a power vacuum. I would prefer to prevent that, but if he leaves me with no choice, then I'll be forced to end him. It's getting pretty late. Thank you for the drink. I must take my leave. Judging by the camera feed in his office, It looks like everything's about to be closing up pretty soon. It's about that time. I suppose you are correct. It's nice to officially meet you, Mr. Freeze. You as well, Deku. Deku watched Mr. Freeze leave the office and head back to the lab. Victor only came to the Iceberg Lounge to guarantee the safety of Nora. He trusts Harley Quinn to protect Nora while they're out. Deku picked up his freeze ray, and put it back inside his white coat and left the office to make sure everyone left in a peaceful manner. 8 hours has passed. Deku made sure everything was locked in the Iceberg Lounge. And the nightclub is currently being cleaned by the cleaning staff. While Deku was on the second story, he gave out his orders towards the henchmen to make sure everything's locked up tight, and restock anything that were running low. I expect everyone to be ready for tomorrow night opening. Don't hesitate if anything goes wrong. I would prefer to be informed if we have any trouble. Understood, little boss. Once everything was done getting set up, he ordered the henchmen to regulate the watch, so each member of the crew could get a proper amount of rest. Deku could sense someone watching him in the shadows. Everyone clear out. As the henchmen cleared out immediately from the first floor of the Iceberg Lounge, as Batman jumps down from the shadows, revealing himself. Where's Penguin? Mr. Penguin is currently out of the country. How can I be assistance, Batman? Why would Penguin leave you in charge, a child? He has his reasons, Batman. I will deal with Penguin later, when he gets back into the country. But what you're planning, kid? I don't know what sort of beef you have with Black Mask. I'll stop you right there. Whatever happens between me and Black Mask will happen regardless if you agree with it or not. I do fully plan to keep the peace, but if he forces my hand, I might have to resort to less peaceful methods. I'll accept that for now. If you get out of line, I won't hesitate to take you down regardless if you're just a child or not. Intimidation. Good try, Bats. I am not intimidated by you, Bats, nor do I fear you. But I'll keep your words in mind. Don't you have some crazy criminals to catch? You know your way out. The moment Deku turned around, Batman vanished into the shadows. Meeting my parents Meeting my parents was not in my plans, but I expected Batman to show up eventually. He's a very interesting man, this Batman. I never met Batman from my Earth, but I bet they're not much different. They seem to be the paranoid type. That wise, letting the bats leave unharmed, little boss? It was the best course of action. The last thing we need is to start messing around with the bat and his sidekicks. And it's past my bedtime. I'm still only 10 after all. Wake me up if something happens. Will do, little boss. Deku went to his room and put his freeze gun back into the armory. Then he went to bed to get some rest. He's going to have a busy day tomorrow. Deku has to get up early for his tutors that come early in the morning during the week to continue his education. then his normal activities around the Iceberg Lounge to get everything set up before it opens later on that night. Black Mask got a delivery. 4 different packages, or presents, arrive as his goons place the boxes on the desk. After the packages were examined and to be checked in case there were bombs, Black Mask noticed the wrapping paper around the 4 boxes. After he was satisfied it wasn't some sort of bomb, as he found severed heads in each of the gifts sitting on his desk that was delivered to him by the name of someone named Deku. Black Mask noticed a videotape in one of the boxes, so he had a VCR right up to his office. As he put in a tape into the VCR, Black Mask was mostly curious. Most people nowadays use DVDs, so he let his curiosity get the best of him and pressed play onto the VCR, starting the tape. Image of Deku appeared on the screen on the television. It seems to be in Mr. Penguin's office, sitting on his desk. Greetings, Black Mask. I am Deku. You might notice the gift I gift you. Now, if you're watching this tape, this is a warning, Black Mask. I am fully in my rights to kill more of your men. That the simple fact that you broke the peace treaty that you agreed with the rest of the big heads in the criminal underworld in Gotham could freely kill all you and your men and don't get any sort of punishment. Outside of the bats, of course. It is true that I did attack your warehouse out of retaliation for your attack that you tried to commence in the Iceberg Lounge. Luckily for both of us, Batman got involved before any damages could transpire. Don't get me wrong, Black Mask. I do understand why you attacked. I'm far more worse than Mr. Penguin. Unlike my boss, I have no respect towards you whatsoever. But the last thing we need is a gap of power. The rest of the crime entities of Gotham City will come down like a load of locusts, trying to grasp at any power they can get their hands on. And that will interrupt business. I suggest we meet at a neutral location to have a civilized conversation. Discuss what's going to happen moving forward. And if you use this as a chance to get rid of me, nothing will stop me. I'll kill you and every single member of your little gang. I will erase your very presence from Gotham City like you never existed in the first place. I hope you do the right thing, Black Mask. It would be a pity if I would have to kill you. Black Mask couldn't help but laugh. He knew he fucked up, but he had to try anyways. It was a perfect opportunity while the Penguin's away. He wasn't expecting Penguin to have someone so brutal in the form of a 10-year-old boy. I'm definitely gonna have to meet this young man. I like his spunk. And my own people back to me. Only their heads are left. Alright, boy. Boys, get rid of the heads and get some rest. It seems we're gonna have to meet this young man later tomorrow. Deku, what a fascinating kid. To think Penguin's second hand would be just a mere child. You're more devious than I gave you credit for, Penguin. As you can see Penguin on the beach, drinking a tropical alcohol beverage with a small umbrella in it, in the Bahamas. I probably should have warned Deku about Black Mask, probably before I left. He'll definitely try to attack my territory thinking it would be easy pickings. But he's gonna have a rude awakening. Deku is not the type to be challenged in such a manner. I hope the kid doesn't kill him. Oh well, regardless, I know everything will be perfectly fine in Deku hands. As we cut to the next day, Deku is getting up from bed and getting dressed, getting ready for his tutors to arrive. After a few hours of session with his tutors, later that day, he got word that his message was replied to, as Deku hopped into the limousine and drove to the meeting place. A couple of Penguin's henchmen by his side. He doesn't need it, but it's for show. Deku found the meeting place to be a rundown ice cream parlor. Deku entered the ice cream shop to see Black Mask waiting for him, sitting on a large table in the middle of the room, with several of his henchmen around for security. Good. A good day, Deku. Why don't you join me? I bet we have much to talk about. Ice cream shop. As he gave Black Mask a raised eyebrow. I figured this would be a perfect spot in neutral territory. The word around the street is, you have quite a sweet tooth. That's the only information anyone has on you, outside of your name. I see, that was not my intention. I simply make ice sculptures for Mr. Penguin, and help him run his daily duties. I'm pretty much his second in command. No doubt about that, my boy. Ever since your presence, Penguin's profits has been doubling. Mostly probably because of you. I like things to run in a proper order. One cog out of place interrupts the whole process. Deku motioned for his henchman to come over to his location, get me an ice cream sundae. When the henchman walked off, Deku turned his attention back to Black Mask. When his henchman came back with the ice cream sundae and placed it in front of Deku, Deku created a spoon made of ice, and dug in. Black Mask observed the 10-year-old boy. He has a curious expression behind his mask. When he finished his sundae, he looked back up to Black Mask and swirled the ice spoon around his fingers. Let's get down to business, shall we, Black Mask? Indeed. I'm not gonna lie, Deku. I thought the old bird was going soft. And I thought it was the perfect chance to get an edge and get some new territory. But I didn't know you were so ruthless in your methods. Nor do I desire to continue this hostility. The simple fact, I like how you do things. I'm surprised you're not angry that I sent your own people back with only their heads intact. They knew what they were signing up to. They knew what they were signing up for when they signed on with me. New recruits are easy to find. Peaceful meetup was interrupted by several figures jumping through the window, revealing themselves as the Court of Owls, assassins, four men wearing white masks that resemble a bird of some sort, bursting through the window and start throwing knives at Black Mask, as a dome of eyes cover Black Mask, protecting him from assassination as the ice dome shatter. Friends of yours, Black Mask? I have no idea who these freaks are. Boys, you might want to step back. Deku stomped the floor with his foot, freezing the floor instantly, freezing one of the Court of Owl assassins. The remaining three jumped through the broken window, as Deku gave chase calmly by walking out of the door of the ice cream shop into the street. Deku immediately started to skid around with ice under his feet from the incoming throwing knives that was tossed at him the moment he left the ice cream parlor. Deku pulled out his freeze gun and shot an airborne assassin in the air, freezing him. The moment the frozen assassin touched the ground, he shattered into a million pieces. Two down and two more to go. I don't know who you are or what organization you belong to, but you made a grave error today. I put so much effort keeping the peace. I'll be down to let you kill Black Mask and bring chaos to Gotham City. For that, you're gonna die, and the rest of your little organization. I'll figure out who you guys are and where you'll hold up. As Deku extended his hand slowly outstretched towards the two remaining assassins, as one of the assassins was impaled by dozens of ice spikes, killing him instantly, as the other assassin found his legs engulfed in ice as he followed the frozen path all the way from his leg, going across towards Deku's position by under his foot. Deku formed a hand gesture in the form of a gun as he walked toward the bound assassin and pointed his finger upwards towards his head. Bang! As a ice bullet shot out of Deku's fingertips into the skull of the assassin. A second later, the assassin was instantly frozen solid, then immediately shattered. Black Mask was amazed by how precise and brutal he took out the assassins, thinking to himself he dodged a bullet. Amazing, Deku. You're one powerful kid. I'm a bit envious of Penguin to have someone with such capabilities by his side. Regardless of these assassins, but regardless, these assassins are going to be a problem. There's probably going to be more. There's probably going to be more of them, and they probably won't just go after me. They'll probably go after you as well, considering you interrupted their assassination. What do you say, kid? You want to join forces and take these freaks down? I believe that would be the best course of action. As Black Mask walked up to Deku and extended his hand outwards for Deku to shake. It didn't take. Deku didn't even think about it. He shook Black Mask's hand. Black Mask noticed how cold Deku's skin, cold as ice. I'll be in contact, Deku. It seems like we need to call a meeting with all the big hitters in Gotham City. If this organization is anything like the League of Villains, there'll be too much for just the two of us to handle. I agree. These assassins seem to be well trained. Deku slipped a piece of paper to Black Mask with his personal cell number. That's my personal cell number. Call me when you have everything set up. These freak, as you say, must be put down. I won't allow some unknown organization to interrupt business. They need to be put down. And put down hard. Before they cause too much damage. I agree completely. I'll be in touch, boys, we're leaving. Alright, man. Let's head back to the Iceberg Lounge. The moment Deku got back, he immediately went to his office on the second story and began to examine the white mask he took from one of the assassins. Dia came to his mind, or his head. Deku waited for nightfall to hit, and temporary. Well, sorry. He went to close the club. Anyways, he. It's late enough, but not not late enough for the club to open yet. It's nighttime, but it's like an hour before the Iceberg Lounge opens up. He made his way over to the Bat Single. That's on top of the police station, and as he turned on the spotlight and wait for the bats to show up. As Deku waited patiently for Batman to appear. Where's the commissioner? Where's Gordon? Mr. Gordon is having a daughter and father night out. According to my sources. What do you want, Deku? Catch. Deku tossed a white mask to Batman as Bruce caught it in his hands. Black Mask was attacked earlier today in a neutral spot. We managed to agree upon to continue the peace. We were attacked by these men wearing these white masks. They move like assassins, and before you ask, I don't believe they're part of the League of Assassins. It's not really their style. I agree. They wouldn't attack you in the opening in bright daylight. What happened to them? Dead. They left me no choice. I might not like killing, but it's necessary evil for certain situations. You might not agree with me, but what done is done. I need a way to contact you. If you grant me this request, I will feed you any information I find on this mysterious organization. A meeting will be forming with all the head figures in the criminal underworld in Gotham City. I'll handle everything on my end of things. That belong to this mysterious organization is a threat to both of us. You know what will happen if any of the big hitters in the criminal underworld were imagined to be taken out. A vast power struggle will lead Gotham into pure chaos. And I do not want that. And I have a feeling neither do you. With that, we can agree upon. I might not like the fact that you're killing people, but I'm not stupid enough to completely ignore the bigger picture. As Batman tossed a small communicator to Deku. Deku put the small device in his pocket. I'll keep you updated. As Deku made eye stares off of the top of the precinct and made his way down to the street level. As he walked into the parked limousine, waiting for him as Batman watched Deku leave or drive off. Batman used his grappling hook to glide off the building and land in his Batmobile and drove off and head back to the Batcave. The moment he got to the Batcave, he went back to the Bat computer and type up any information he could find on Deku. He began to search through all the database, trying to find a match, to find any sort of personal information on the kid named Deku that appeared out of nowhere. The moment Deku got back to the Berg Lounge, he summoned all the minions in the nightclub. Listen, everyone, until further notice, I want everything locked down, outside of the Iceberg Lounge, of course. I won't allow some wannabe assassins to interrupt the income we get here every night. Whoever these people are, I will find them, and identify their little group. Then I will crush them under my heel. Now, everyone, get back to work. I need to prepare for tonight's opening. Deku noticed his phone go off and see the caller ID. He immediately answered it. Hello, Mr. Penguin. I hope you're having a pleasant vacation. It's been quite relaxing, Deku. I'm just calling to check up, see how's everything going. We had a bit of trouble with Black Mask. I figured he would try something. Has it been resolved? Everything was resolved peacefully, in a peaceful manner. But I could sense a butt in there, my lad. While we were discussing a peaceful solution, Black Mask was attacked by some unknown assassin wearing black masks that almost resemble bird-like. It's faint, but it could definitely tell by the mask. Wait, you said white mask? Yes, sir. I've never heard or seen assassins like that before. I suggest you call a meeting with all the members of the criminal underworld in Gotham City. I've already planned to do that, sir. You don't need to worry. I will handle everything. I have no doubt you will, my lad. How's the Iceberg Lounge doing? Doing very well. I'm getting everything prepared for tonight's opening. As we speak, I'm making the new ice sculptures. As you see Deku while talking on the phone, making different kinds of ice sculptures around the Iceberg Lounge. If things get out of hand, feel free to hire anyone, as you deem appropriate. I suggest Killer Croc, Bane, or even Grundy would be an asset, if this organization becomes too much of a threat. I'll do that if it comes to that. I've already started making a backup plan, just in case things get out of hand. What sort of backup plan, my boy? Batman. I've already informed him of the situation. Penguins start to cackle. The thought of Deku is listing the very man that most criminals hate with a passion. Batman, only you would think of involving that man. Very smart. Angry, sir? I know you and the Bats have history. I'm not mad one bit. I worked with the Bats a couple of times in the past, when the situation becomes dire. Just keep me updated. And don't underestimate the Bats. That's why everyone loses every time they come face to face with the Batman. They underestimate him, and they're easily defeated. This here will do, sir. I'll make sure to keep you updated. Give them a help, Deku. Deku and Penguins disconnected their call. As the opening of the Iceberg Lounge went according to plan, it was mostly a peaceful night. Now Deku is walking around the Iceberg Lounge. When everyone left, oddly, there's no henchmen nearby to be seen, as the lights were all cut off for a brief second, then the lights turned back on. As Deku sees the lounge is filled with the same assassins that he fought earlier that day. Deku had a blank expression on his face, so that's how it is. So the henchmen are are either dead or unconscious. You got a lot of nerve challenging me in such a manner. As Deku blue eyes grow bright, as he stares down all the intruders that are all scattered around the Iceberg Lounge. Deku noticed there's about 20 of them, wearing the clear white mask on the first floor and the second floor of the nightclub, as they all charge Deku all at once. As you see several assassins in the air heading directly towards Deku, and the ones on the first floor are charging Deku at the same time. That's where we're going to stop it. Hope you guys have a good night and day. Judged by time zones, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.